We're talking about insecurities. OMG. Pastors' wives insecure? Welcome to Motivational Mondays. Woo! It's not until somebody asks you what's it been like that you realise it's been hard. But it's been amazing. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Anyway, I'm gonna powder my nose because this thing has brought out some emotions in me that I didn't quite know I had. Catch you on the other side. Let's talk all things insecurities. Woo! The insecurities. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just say this straight off. If God did not call you or call your husband to be a pastor, honestly, don't enter it. I'm telling you, being a pastor's wife, if you're not strong, it will crush you, it will crucify you, it will destroy you, it will tear you down. I don't care if people are saying, oh, well, you shouldn't. No, I am a pastor's wife. And I'm telling you now, if God Almighty didn't stand in the trenches with me, this pastor's wife thing would have finished me. I can tell you this, the only reason it didn't destroy me was because I had a mother who raised me to be independent, to be confident, and to believe in herself. If I wasn't confident, if I didn't believe in myself, I would have been destroyed. I don't take that back. I would have been destroyed. There's nothing like being at the mercy of everyone's opinion, conversation, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what's right attire. As a pastor's wife, you cannot sit in the shadow of your husband. You will be buried. You will be buried in ministry alive. You will be buried in ministry alive. You cannot sit in the shadow of your husband. You cannot sit as, what would you like me to do? You cannot. You must find your identity. You must find who you are. You must find a vocation. Even if you take up knitting, you must not sit in his shadow. I'm sorry, you must not sit in his shadow. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you will die. Because I don't care what anybody says, ministry is all about the man of God. You're just the wife. You're just the wife. You need to make sure that you find something to do. Take up swimming, take up knitting, take up baking, take up something. Do not sit in the shadow of your husband. I don't care. Unsubscribe if you need to, if you don't believe, if you think it's not right, do not. I've been a pastor's wife for 17 years. I would have died spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I would have been like I can't even find the words to explain what it would have been like. No. I'm sorry. It's tough. But I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I would not trade it. I would not trade it. I've become who I am today because of my pastor's wife. I am 100%, apart from God and my mama, I am who I am today because of God. Because I'm a pastor's wife. It has molded me and shaped me into the woman that I am today. When you become a Christian, you're very much hit with presentation. What you should wear, what you can't wear, what's appropriate, what's too tight, what's too short, showing your arms, shouldn't you show your arms, too much cleavage, too much thigh, just the whole 9 yards. So somebody like myself coming from the world, I didn't struggle with attire for church. I think people that struggle are just in denial. I'm sorry. You know what's right. You know that if you wear it to the club, You can't wear it to church with a jacket and still have your bum out. Sorry, sorry. I was a raver, raved hardcore, and when I came to church, I knew what was acceptable. I knew that my breast shouldn't be out of doors. I knew that my backside should not be squeezed into a skirt. I just knew. So when I see people doing it, it's like, oh, I'm trying up. No, you know what you're doing. You still got the world in you. I'm sorry. Just want to say that. And I think for me, when I became a pastor's wife, obviously I was very mindful about how I presented myself, because I knew that my presentation was on show, and also it was at the mercy of people's feedback and opinion, and oh my goodness, and I knew that I was going to be critiqued, observed. So I would always make sure I was very modest, cleavage, no cleavage, nothing too tight. And then I remember, this was in the early years, maybe 2-3 years in. I remember starting to feel when I would come to church that I didn't feel me. I felt as though, let me just be honest, we're starting to get women now in their droves, men too. And they would come in and they would look so nice, and they'd have on their nice fitted skirts and their nice fitted blouse or their nice fitted tops and their heels. And I used to think, oh, they look so nice. And I'd look at myself and I'd think, there you are in your long skirt, all covered up. And I began to feel, I don't know, I wanted to come to church and put on a hot skirt and a hot blouse and a hot top, and I wanted to do that as well. And that was an insecurity, because I wasn't sure if I was losing myself. And I went through a phase where I would take a risk. I would wear something that I knew was a bit tight. I would wear something that I knew was on knee length. I would wear a jacket that didn't cover my behind. I did. I wanted to feel just as good as you're looking. I've got all these women in my church and they're just turning it up, and I'm coming in there looking like my middle name's Mary. Like, come on. I wanted to bring my sass out. I wanted to bring my, I wanted to bring it back out. And I did. And that was the first time that I really thought, gosh, there are some choices you have to make that you may not like. It's not, you just, I remember it very, very well. Just look at being in church and looking at the women. It was a bit like when you're looking at them, you're looking at yourself. You're looking at them, you're looking at yourself. You're looking at them, you're looking at yourself, and you're like, and all of a sudden you just start to feel your mood go down, and you suddenly find yourself looking at your husband preaching, thinking, what does he think of me? Does he think I've changed? Does he think I look frumpy? And it was definitely one of the first times when I knew that insecurity had crept in. I'm keeping it real. That's all I'm doing. I'm just keeping it real. You wonder how is your husband managing all of these females? Does he still see you? Does he still find you as attractive? Because you're in this sea of women. And of course there's a sea of men too, but we're just talking pastors' wives. And that's why I said at the beginning, if you're not confident, this thing will destroy you. And because I'm confident, I'm not insecure in the sense of if there's females that are, dressed in a way where everything's on show. I'm not one of those women that, oh my God, I'm gonna deal with him when he gets home. But by the same token, I absolutely know when somebody's just being genuine and when somebody has an agenda. Thankfully in my church, I haven't been made to feel insecure. by our congregation. Everyone's respectful to me, everyone's respectful to my husband. We don't have situations where women come with an agenda. We don't have that. But I'm very much a person, I don't put my mind of thought in a place that I don't need to. The biggest insecurity is comparison. It's comparison. It's am I enough? Am I doing enough? Can I do better? I think for somebody like myself who is very confident, quite outspoken, you lose your voice. You can lose your voice in ministry. You can lose your voice as a pastor's wife. You lose your voice. Have I felt undermined? Yeah. They all play into the lie of the enemy. They all play into they all play into the lie of the enemy. And that's why I repeat over and over again, if you're not called to do this, don't do it. Am I insecure? No. Am I an insecure person? Absolutely not. Do I have insecurities? Nothing more than the average woman. Nothing more than every other woman. Every woman has something they're insecure about. But is it a stronghold? No way. No way. There is too much at stake. You must be joking. If the enemy can grab a hold of your insecurity, you're mad. You're done. You need to, I wrap it up in Jesus. Anything that tries to come in, I wrap it up in Jesus. I wrap it up in the blood, because I know that it would finish me. I might as well just quit. So insecurities for me, it's more about finding your own confidence, finding your own self, and finding your own lane. You must find your lane. I had to find my lane. I had to find my own assignment as a pastor's wife. Because with or without me, let me explain something to you. Pastor's wives, I'm going to keep it very real. Very, very real. Church is going to go on without you because God called the man of God. Yeah? And I keep it very real. If I decide I don't want to do this anymore, the man of God is still called. 22 years married, 23 years married this year, we're good. So let's just put that out there before all of a sudden blow up all over social media that we're in trouble. No, we're not. But let me explain something to you. We are nobody without his call. We are nobody. We are nothing. So we have to find something. We have to find our lane. We have to find something to do. We have to be confident. We have to find our purpose. We're only as good as the man of God. Why do I say that? Because without him, we're not a pastor's wife. You're only a pastor's wife because of your husband. That's the bottom line. I told you I'm going to just keep it real. And I believe that every pastor's wife that struggles, find something to do. Honestly, find your purpose. Find your own heartbeat. You have to serve him. That's your responsibility. You have to stand with him. That's your responsibility. But my God, my God, my God, what on earth would become of you? We're in it together, but with God, you must be joking. I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't survive. And neither will you. Trust, this thing is tough. Whew, that was a deep one. I told you we're going to go in. That was a tough one. Even for me, it brought out a lot of emotions. Next week, we're talking about the pastor's wife, and other women. It's going to be good. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be hot. Catch you next week for Motivational Mondays. Love you. Thank you for joining me. Shola Dawkins, the pastor's wife, keeping it real. We got each other. Mwah. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment. I'll catch you next week for Motivational Mondays.